Hello, welcome back to Wholesome 3. My name is Radhya, and in today's video, we are discussing this full moon in Virgo and also what has been going on in the cosmos for the last couple of weeks. So, this is again, I would say, not an ordinary full moon, considering so many different aspects. We have the year ending, that was 2025, which was the number 9 year. But interestingly, we also have Saturn in the last sign of Pisces and Sun conjuncting Saturn. So this is a placement we are witnessing almost after 30 years because Saturn takes 2.5 years in one house. So 2.5 into 12, do the math. And that is where Pisces, which is ruled by the 12th house, and it's the last sign, and your identity coming together with Saturn, all of that is what we're going to discuss. So grab your cup of tea and let's just understand, especially if you have been feeling this push and pull over the last 10 to 15 days, like one part of you is ready to move forward, but another is being pulled inward. You are not imagining it. There is a very real identity shift happening right now. Let's understand, okay? Sun being in Pisces along with Saturn. Now, this is important because the sun represents your identity, your ego, how you show up in the world, and Saturn represents karma, structure, reality checks, and your shadow. Now, these two don't function the same way as at all. Okay, the sun wants expression, but Saturn says correction. And when both of them come together in Pisces, which is the last sign of the zodiac, the ruler of the 12th house, it's about ending something and not building something new. Like without an ending, new cannot happen. So Pisces is this 12th house energy of detachment, surrender, closure, moksha. And what's happening over the last couple of weeks, that's why it's not random. It is something to do with your identity in the way you've been seeing yourself, in the way you've been living your life. It's undergoing a massive change, it's dissolving, and Saturn is not polite. It doesn't say, "Are you ready? Should we do this?" It's just going to show you what no longer aligns and what has to be released now. So, the opposite of this conjunction, we have the full moon in Virgo, which is right opposite Pisces. And Virgo is where things get very interesting because Virgo wants control, it wants precision, it wants things to make sense. It is a part of you that says, "Tell me how to fix this, tell me how to do this right, give me the right plan and routine, and I will make it happen." But this full moon is not here giving you that control because in opposition, we have Pisces Sun Saturn conjunction. And it's here to show you where your need to control is creating resistance. So if you've been feeling irritation, restlessness, overthinking, trying to figure everything out, that's Virgo trying to hold on. That's the sixth house energy sticking to the same old routines, while Pisces is asking you to surrender. It is asking you to let go. It is asking you, where do you not surrender? Where do you not trust? Where are you clingy to "I do what I do"? Where are you holding on too tightly to rigid structures that are not serving you and are trying to control the outcome? Where are you relying only on structure, routine, logic, but resisting surrender? Because Virgo is ruled by Mercury and Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. Now, hear me out very carefully. What is Mercury? Mercury is this curious kid, it's this student, it's this logical person who's asking a lot of questions and knows that A to B to C is how things are done. What is Pisces? Ruled by Jupiter in 12th house. It's like you're walking down the street, you're feeling thirsty, and you don't know suddenly, like, from where someone came and said, like, "Oh, I have an extra bottle of water. Do you need it?" This is the kind of miracles that happen. Now, this is a very tiny example I've taken, but remember, go back to the times where in life you just, without even you asking, perhaps the right thing or the right opportunity or the right person showed up in front of you, and you were like, "Oh my God, this is just what I needed." That is Pisces Jupiterian energy of trust, surrender, which comes not from control, it comes from detachment. We've so many times heard that when you just give up, when you completely surrender, that now enough is enough, like, there's nothing more I can do. that is when divine intervention steps in. Okay, so where Virgo is teaching you effort, Pisces is teaching you trust. And right now, both are getting activated. This axis is getting activated. So let's understand another layer to this. Ketu is currently in Leo. And moon, it sits in a position that creates emotional distance. Why? Because the moon is in the sign of Virgo and Ketu is sitting 12 places away. Again, number 12, which is the 12th house and the house of detachment. So when Ketu is sitting 12 places away from the moon, it's a very, very profound time to liberate yourself from certain emotional attachments as well, or certain structures that you are emotionally attached to which are no longer serving you. And because of this placement, you also might be feeling slightly detached, withdrawn, less interested in external validation, or even the need to isolate. Okay, and this is where people misunderstand this energy and they feel all lost, but this is not something to panic about. It's actually very healthy. It's very much needed because when identity is undergoing such a massive shift, you cannot keep engaging with the world in the same way, with the same identity that you had been holding on to. You need space to recalibrate. Now, understanding the nakshatra, this full moon is happening in Hasta. Okay, Hasta is ruled by the moon, and symbolically, Hasta means the hand, which means creation, skill, shaping reality. And here's a deeper layer most people miss. Hasta is not just about control, it's about what are you trying to hold on to and what life is trying to take out of your hands, but you're resisting because this is a full moon. Remember, full moon is about releasing, it's not about creating something new. So, what have you been holding? What are the tangible realities, especially? Tangible is what? Your money, the routine, the structure, your workplace, because Virgo is ruling the sixth house. Have you been heavily into structure and are you trying to solve problems by being more disciplined? That is going to backfire during this time. Because when the moon sits in Hasta, during a full moon, especially, what is it asking you? What are you gripping onto that is no longer yours to carry? Okay. This is where your insight about transformation fits perfectly. Hasta has this quality of turning things around. It's very famous for the story of rags to riches. This nakshatra has that potential. But imagine, really imagine in your life, if somebody is going from rags to riches, does that happen overnight? Does that happen surely out of luck? No. It is a mix of hard work and faith. It's a mix of structure and surrender. Where there is a divine intervention, yes, the person was working, but then there was a sudden breakthrough, a sudden opportunity that was out of the control of that person that kind of just took the person in a different tangent. Like a lot of celebrities or a lot of businessmen or a lot of successful people have this story. Does that mean that they were doing nothing and then everything happened? Or that they just worked hard and it was purely out of hard work that they got to where they were? It was neither of the extremes. Okay, so this Virgo Pisces axis, this is what it is asking of you. This is what it is trying to teach you, that where are you overly holding on to structure and being a control freak, that I am going to be the one doing everything. One of the biggest lessons of the Bhagavad Gita, which says that detach yourself from being the doer. So the rags to riches comes from a shift in perception, from seeing both extremes and realizing that the way you were holding life was very limited. So this full moon is not just emotional, it's corrective. It's asking you to adjust. It's asking you to let go certain habits, routines, your way of functioning, and most importantly, your need to control everything or use discipline over discipline. Okay, because Virgo will say, do more, fix more, try harder, make your habits stronger. But Pisces with Saturn Sun will say what? Not everything is meant to be fixed. Some things are meant to be released, ended, recalibrated. And if you resist that, this period can feel very frustrating and like heavy, confusing. But if you allow it, you'll notice something very different. There's going to be a quiet shift, a clarity that doesn't come from thinking, from controlling more. But the minute you let go, the minute you surrender, You will notice a rebirth. You'll be able to observe. And this is not something where you're able to achieve something overnight, but this surrender where you have this inner knowing. Remember the Pisces 12th house energy, the inner knowing, where you know that I don't know how things are going to pan out. I don't know what the reality looks like. My Virgo moon is going to bring up my fears around uncertainty, but this is exactly what is going to take me forward. Okay, so this is the kind where something old quietly dissolves and you realize you can't go back to who you were. So instead of asking, what should I do next? What more can I do? Ask yourself, what am I still holding that needs to be released? Because this is where this full moon is working. Not in creating more, not in doing more, but in what you finally let go of. All right. So here's a very powerful exercise that you can do during this full moon to have the energies aligned and release what no longer serves you. So you can do this with me right now, just for practice. Later on the day of the full moon, before and after the full moon, at least for good 5 days, okay? The 72 hours before and after the full moon, do it every day, and this will really help align you. So do it with me right now. I want you to first just clench your fists like this, okay? And right now, when I ask you to clench, then you clench. Right now, just sit comfortably, keep your back straight, close your eyes. Close your eyes, don't cheat, close your eyes, okay? Inhale and exhale. Now, as you inhale and exhale, closing your fist tightly, I want you to now clench it as tightly as possible. As tightly as possible. Okay. Normally, you're going to hold it for 30-40 seconds. And while holding, you're going to say this to yourself, keeping your eyes closed. Say this to yourself: all that I am forcing, all that I'm trying to control, all that I'm not allowing to change, all that feels like I will collapse if I let it go, you will feel the tension. And it's good, like feel the tension, feel what are those things that you fear or will collapse if you let go. I want you to keep it tight, hold it tight, feel it in every cell of your body. Inhale and exhale. Remember all of what you've held on to really tightly. And on my count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, give a deep exhale and open your palms. Open your palms, shake your palms, shake, shake it, 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 shake it. And now open your palms, facing your palms to the ceiling. And I want you to say this loudly, okay, but meaningfully. Say it out loud, okay, not whisper, but say it as you feel it. If it is not mine to hold, it is not mine to control. All of what that I'm holding on, had been forcing, had been worrying and fearing will collapse if I let go. If it is not mine to hold, it is not mine to control. I release control. I release control. I release control. And I surrender. Okay, I want you to open both your arms wide, palms facing the ceiling, and look up. And as you look up, keep breathing, inhale and exhale. Okay, so I want you to do it. You can do it especially during the night before you sleep, but I definitely want you to do it for 5 days consistently and tell me how it feels. All right, so here's one more practice I'm going to give you. You need a pen and paper, so get it right now. Do it with me on the spot. Okay, I want you to divide, pause the video, get the pen and paper, and once you have it, I want you to divide the page into 3 columns. So you can have a page in landscape, and in landscape, divide it into 3 columns. Okay, in the first column, I want you to write where I'm trying to control. The first column is I want you to write where I'm trying to control. Now do this with me. This can be examples of, there can be outcomes you're trying to control. There can be certain timelines you're trying to control. There can be people's responses, that this is how they should have responded, or this is how they should have behaved with me. And in general, outcomes, timelines, this project, I should have been able to do it by this time, or this exercise that I'm doing, or the weight loss, okay, by this and this date, I should get into perfect. So, whatever it is that you've been trying to control, I want you to write in that column. Pause the video, do it. Once it's done, move to the second column. And the second column, the exercise is, why am I controlling it? Why am I controlling it? Now, this is not an exercise which is going to be easy if you've just begun with the inner work, but I still want you to attempt it, give it a fair share. It can be a fear of failure. It can be fear of uncertainty. It can be fear of losing your identity. It can be the fear of being wrong. You are controlling something, maybe because you have a fear of abandonment or you have a fear of rejection. So, when we control or overly explain someone, we don't realize there is also a lot of control. We're overly explaining because we want to justify so that we can control the way the other person behaves towards us. Or this can also be in a job scenario where you have to speak up, but you're not speaking and you're controlling hardly how to postpone this presentation more and more and more because you think that I will be perfect. So let me just keep postponing. There can be multiple different things. So whatever you've written in the first column of what am I controlling, in the second, I want you to write why am I controlling. And now let's move. Once you're done, okay, pause the video, do it. Once you're done, move to the third. That is what happens if I don't control. Now, this is something most people avoid. It is where the truth comes out. It is something that our ego naturally is not ready to look at. What happens if I don't control? This is actually going to tell you deeper what are your fears. Like you might feel like if I don't do it, then my boss may yell at me in front of so many people. So what happens then? I feel humiliated. And it's not that this is a fact that your boss will shout, but this is also that it brings out a deeper layer that there is a fear of being humiliated. In the same way, if you have certain deadlines, you may feel like if I don't finish it by then, I might feel like I'm a failure or this is not something I'm capable of doing. Like that, think about it. And now, finally, after you've done this entire exercise, I want you to circle one thing out of what you've written that you're trying to control. Okay, just one thing, just one thing. Out of all what you've written, circle just one thing. And for the next 48 hours, consciously, I want you to do nothing about it. So if you've written, I'm trying to control to finish this by the next 1 week. For the next 2 days, I want you to not even think about it, not touch it, just go do something totally different. And this is where you also learn the Saturn in Pisces lesson of how to observe discomfort. Okay, I want you to do these two exercises. Start doing something from your hands. Like you can pick up a huge pile of sand, okay, or a rock and hold it tightly and say it that this, all what I've been trying to control and is not mine to hold, I completely release it. Go drop it. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please do like, let me know in the comments and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.